In this video, I'm going to continue summarizing the quest lore in Westfall. So if you're like me and you didn't read anything while leveling your character in WoW, then let's jump in and find out what you missed in World of Warcraft. Last time you arrived in front of a murder scene, and investigator Lieutenant Horatio Lane sends you out to collect clues. Along the way, you eavesdrop on many conversations, including one with a mysterious figure who seems to be in the process of recruiting people. You also help out a farmer by clearing the murder machines in his farm, while his wife gives you a lead, which takes you all the way to Sentinel Hill. But if you'd like to see the whole episode in detail, then go ahead and click this link right over here. Okay. Let's continue with the second chapter of Westfall. You start off by speaking with Salma, and she mentions that about 4 years ago, a little girl came to their house and collapsed at their front door, and she had no recollection of who she was. But the farmers adopted her and named her Hope, because that's what she represented. Now she's a young woman working at Sentinel Hill, and Salma here wants you to bring her some Westfall stew. From here, you get going. But before you go to Sentinel Hill, you make your way towards the Molson farm, and when you arrive, you take control of one of the golems by using the mechanical heart, and kill 25 of the golems in the field. Once that's done, you head back to Saldine's farm, and when you get there, you speak with Saldine himself. He's happy that you cleaned out a good amount of the golems, and hopes that what you've done will solve the harvest golem problem that's currently here in Westfall. Now, you head out to Sentinel Hill. And when you get there, you run up to Hope and hand her the Westfall stew, which she's really excited about because it's something from her mom. Now, Hope talks about how the people here have lost their sense of, well, hope. And she wants you to take the stew and feed 20 homeless people in the area. Now you run out of the tower and speak with Marshal Stoutmantle. To sum up what he says, Westfall is crap. The people out here are basically squatting on abandoned houses. But the bigger problem is that they're under attack by gnolls. And he wants you to find out who's pulling the strings by recovering their attack orders. Captain DANUVIN says that the soldiers here were once known as the People's Militia, but now they fight under the Stormwind banner. And their goals were to clean up Westfall after the Defias made such a mess. And they also wanted to expand the reach of the Alliance to maintain order. So far, they're failing at all of that. Now they're in trouble because the gnolls are becoming a bigger problem every single day. So the captain here wants you to kill 12 Riverpaw gnolls that are attacking Sentinel Hill. Now you speak with Scout Gallian, and he mentions something about a ghost captain who haunts the Westfall lighthouse way out to the far west. And of course he wants you to go there and investigate it. Why? I really don't know. Maybe he's just wanting to find something to talk about. Now you get moving and kill the gnolls in the area along with finding the attack orders. Here's the thing about those though, when you read them in your bag, it says that the gnolls are to sack Sentinel Hill and free the Admiral. At the end, it's signed by someone named Helix. After all that, you feed the homeless with the Westfall stew. Once that's done, you head west to the lighthouse. When you get there, you speak with the ghost of Captain Grayson. And he says that yes, there was a time when he was alive, but that was before the Murlocs attacked. Having said that, he mentions the multiple shipwrecks on the shore, and says that the coast needs to be kept clear, so that if sailors find their ways to the beaches, that they can be kept safe. But the Murlocs are a problem. So he wants you to kill 7 Murloc Tidehunters and 7 Murloc Oracles. The captain also says that the night that the lighthouse keeper's family died was horrible. The attack was led by Old Murk-Eye. But apart from the Murlocs attacking the lighthouse on a consistent basis, there's another problem. And that problem is keeping the light on in the lighthouse so that ships don't crash into the coast. And this responsibility has fallen on to Captain Grayson. But he needs Chasm Ooze from the Raging Chasm to the northeast. So you need to head up there and gather 5 Chasm Oozes. As for the Murloc leader, Old Murk-Eye, he's the one who killed the Lighthouse family. Captain Grayson wants you to take him out and bring him back one of his scales. So now you head out. Kill Old Murk-Eye for his scale. Then you kill the Murlocs in the area. Upon killing one of them, you find a treasure map from someone named Captain Sanders. And it leads you to multiple areas on and around the beach until you get to the treasure. Fun quest, but nothing really important. Then you head over to the Raging Chasm and kill the slimes for their Chasm Oozes. After that, you head back to Captain Grayson at the lighthouse and hand him the oozes so he can light the fire. He thanks you and says that this will help others not die a similar death to his. As for the Murlocs, he also thanks you for that and says that the beach should be a lot safer since you cleaned them all out. Now you start heading all the way back to Sentinel Hill, and when you arrive, you speak with Marshal Stoutmantle, and he's really surprised about hearing the name Helix from the attack orders, but he's really confused about who this admiral is. This is when he goes over and asks the captured Worgen about some information. Unfortunately, he doesn't really help out at all. Captain DANUVIN says that killing the gnolls gave them all a temporary relief, which is nice to have. But Captain DANUVIN also says that the gnolls have established their capital in a place called the Dust Plains, and their leader named Django Spothide is located over there. So he wants you to go over to the Dust Plains and kill their leader, along with 5 Riverpaw Mystics and 5 Riverpaw Taskmasters. Now you run up to Hope, and she comments that you have a very kind heart for feeding the homeless around here. After that quest is completed, you run back up to Marshal Stoutmantle. He says that Helix's full name is Helix Gearbreaker, and he came into the Alliance territory about 2 weeks ago. SI7, specifically Matthias Shaw, sent Stoutmantle a letter stating that he, Matthias, sent an agent by the name of Kiernan to Westfall in order to shadow Helix. She's hanging around the MORTWAKE'S tower southeast of here in the Dust Plains. So if you find her, you find Helix. Now, you make your way over to the Dust Plains. And when you get there, you kill the gnolls in the area, as well as their leader, Django Spothide. Then you make your way over to Agent Kiernan. After you tell her that Helix is the one that's responsible for the gnolls attacking, she says that he's in the tower over there. And she's been waiting for an excuse to bust him. Even though Helix is held up in Clavin Mortwake's tower, it's pretty heavily guarded, but she says that she'll cover you with her handy sniper rifle named Claire. Kiernan also gives you something called a shrouding potion, so you can use it inside, which will make you invisible. Now you run over to the tower, and Kiernan takes out the guards with her rifle. Then once you're inside, you use the potion and become invisible and head upstairs. That's when you begin to eavesdrop on Helix and the shadowy figure. Helix mentions that the gnolls have failed, but the shadowy figure says that they're gonna free the Admiral during the dawning. But she wants to speak with Helix's people one last time before this so-called dawning. And specifically, she wants to do it in Moonbrook, which is located out to the west. So now you leave the tower and report back with Agent Kiernan. And she's pretty concerned about what's happening in Moonbrook, but she says that she'll be heading back to SI7 to report, and tells you that you should speak about all of this with Marshal Stoutmantle. So now you head all the way back to Sentinel Hill, and when you get there, you speak with Captain DANUVIN, and he says that your attack on the gnolls will take the Rippaw a long time to recover. When speaking with Marshal Stoutmantle, he worries about who the shadowy figure is, and says that you really need to go to Moonbrook. Specifically, he wants you to report to Captain Alpert, located at the camp to the north of the city. Also, he wants you to meet up with someone named Thoralius, which we'll cover in the next episode. He's a shaman that Stoutmantle met up in Northrend, but he thinks he can help find out who the shadowy figure is. Now you leave Sentinel Hill and make your way to the camp located outside of Moonbrook. Once you get there, you speak with Captain Alpert, and he says that something's up with the homeless around here, because they've quadrupled in numbers, and he thinks that they're planning something. There's been a lot of violence in the area, and a group of thugs came around handing out pamphlets to a lot of people, trying to get them all riled up. So Captain Alpert wants you to go into Moonbrook and find any pamphlets, leaflets, or anything that can give you some information. So now you leave the camp and go into Moonbrook and find a whole bunch of different propaganda. When you read some of it, you notice that it's signed by the letter V. Now, upon killing one of the thugs, he drops a bandana, and the bandana is made out of the same material that you found off the gnolls at the murder scene at the beginning of Westfall. So it would be wise to collect more of these bandanas so you can give them to Captain Alpert. From here, you kill more thugs to get more of the bandanas, and then you head back to camp to speak with the captain. He says that the only V that he knows of is Van Cleef. If you need a little history, Van Cleef was the leader of the Defias Brotherhood back in Classic, but he's been dead for quite a while now. And as for the red bandanas, well, this was a symbol of the Defias Brotherhood. So Captain Alpert is wondering if this shadowy figure is trying to reform the Brotherhood itself. But now, that rally that the shadowy figure wanted to do when she was talking with Helix back at the tower, yeah, that's about to happen in Moonbrook. And Captain Alpert wants you to head in there and see what's up. So you go back into town and listen to the rally from the shadowy figure. And she talks about how these people were abandoned, and that the Alliance must be held accountable for all that they've done, which is allowing all the people here to live such horrible lives. From here, you head back into camp and speak with Captain Alpert again. He says that he could hear the rallying screams from the homeless from here, and mentions that we really need to find out who the shadowy figure is. Upon finishing this quest, you complete the second chapter in the Westfall storyline. We've got one more chapter to get through in this zone, and after that, we're moving straight on to Northrend. Just because Wrath Classic has been announced, and it's going to be quite a hype, and I think it's going to be beneficial for everybody. But again, thank you for watching this video, and if you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to tune into my streams here on YouTube on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I'll be gathering quest lore, and also just playing World of Warcraft, because that's what we like to do. Share this with your friends, guildies, and I'll see you next time when we find out what happens next in the Tales of Azeroth. Now you run out of the tower and speak with Marshal Stoutmeyer. Mantle.